Never heard that.
I knew I was missed.
Deep in here now.
It's incredible.
I love it. Me
That's
too.
good.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
And applying the recovery, I thought. What's up, everybody out there on planet Earth? It's your favorite recovery Martian, back from Recovery Central, 2300 Dumbarton Road, the McShin Foundation. Man, it's bittersweet because that's the last time as an official McShin employee I will be giving my intro.
Yeah, your world famous intro.
Yeah, and I love that intro, man. It was often hated on, sometimes criticized.
Great art always is.
Yeah, I know, man.
Yeah.
It's never understood until like 15 years later or whatever, but it's been a pleasure broadcasting live and bringing some content to y'all while I was in this position and able to use the podcast room at my own free will. I love that. I enjoyed getting phone calls from individuals that were, judicially involved and watching the program on the program.
It is a program.
It is a program.
And that will continue for years.
On live television. And somebody actually took a phone call one time and they gave me that intro back to me. And I was like, I called my supervisor immediately, COO.
Yeah,
Sorry,
CEO.
I don't want to get any letters mixed up.
No, you don't.
And I was like, guess what somebody just said to me? And they repeated my intro to me. Dude,
That's wild.
what a proud moment. I
Yeah.
felt like sort of like a father giving birth to twins. Not myself, but my lovely wife.
Right.
It was that it was that kind of moment of just pure joy that, hey, somebody caught it out there in the ether, out there in the great unknown. This passed through somebody's airwaves and brain functions, and it's stuck in there somewhere, and hopefully some recovery stuck in there too somewhere along the way. That's nothing we like more better than to talk about stories of hope and recovery, man. You can talk about these subjects for an eternity.
Well, I've seen plenty of intake emails come through, which is a technical term that I'm not going to explain right now.
Yeah, it's a lot goes in, a lot of inner workings, a lot of technical jargon.
That key fact of how did you hear about McShin? And they tell us because of the tablets when they saw us on the podcast.
Yeah, and just and it's really amazing from where, particularly like when you sort of took over the reins of the podcast and the growth that has transpired since then, and the amount of tablets that were on throughout the jails, which would be, can we say millions?
It's something like that. It's like half the jail population of the United States, which is around 1 million people, have the possibility of access to it.
Yeah, and the United States does, incarcerate a large number of people.
Somebody
still.
told me it was the most in the country, like per capita. I mean, the most in the world. I'm sorry.
Yeah, per capita, and we have a lot of per capita in the United States.
The largest captive audience in podcast history.
Yeah, I know. I know that's kind of like a what would the term be? It's like good, but it's bad at the same time.
Yes,
not bittersweet, but something like that.
Yeah, mixed blessings.
Yeah, a blessing and a curse.
Yes.
It's a blessing and a curse because, of course, we don't want anybody incarcerated, particularly if they're suffering from substance use disorder. So many avenues of help, but we're hoping if somebody is in that situation and they come across this content that, like my dad used to say, it can be your last time ever having to go through this. Right. And they'll catch something from it. Today's going to be a little bit different because, as I kind of just previously stated before, that, this is my last official day as a McShin employee.
Right. 3 years of this.
3 years together with Steve. Steve's going to cry.
Sob like a baby.
Because I am something like a father figure to most people around here, especially Jesse. He's been sobbing. The Kleenexes are flying off the shelves.
Box after box.
Yeah, he's been crying a lot. A lot of people been crying, and that makes me happy because it lets me know I'm going to be missed, and I find joy in other people's tears.
They had to clean up the first floor.
Yeah,
all the water.
The kitchen flooded.
Yeah, exactly.
The kitchen
because of
actually
all the tears. Yeah.
flooded with tears. I've almost cheered up a couple times. I've kept my composure pretty good, but it almost seems like you becomes a home away from home.
Right.
The McShin Foundation is a different kind of place to work at. Well, that I know of. I'm speaking from my own experience. There could be other places, but I'm just not aware of them. And having gone through the program here and then got employed here and interned here and basically lived in the parking lot for 6 months at one time, doing the intensive house and coming back here, it has become my unofficial home away from home. very special place in that regard. So I'll miss it like that. I don't think I'd be able to drive out of this place without stopping in. You know?
Oh yeah,
just stopping in.
Right.
Yeah,
we'll have a commemorative parking spot for you.
Yeah, and I was feeling like I was telling Steve beforehand, and I'm gonna let y'all know too. I feel like a statue should be erected somewhere. Like,
we're gonna start a donation campaign.
Yeah, over by the playground or something. Really scare the kids.
They'll throw eggs at it.
Yeah, but at the very least, I'll take like a commemorative.
Yeah,
why isn't that coming off my tongue right? Yeah, well, I'll take one of those plaque with like a sort of bust of me in a very stately like pose, with flowers at the bottom. I'd take that.
Anybody out there wants to donate that?
Yeah,
knows a statue carver or
any bronze workers
in the Bronze Guild.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be gold. I'll take bronze or whatever the Statue of Liberty is made out of too. Is that copper?
At least Play-Doh or something.
Yeah,
last a couple months.
Yeah, some brick. I'll take whatever. Yeah. And it's going to be just quite a little different today too, because Steve might end up interviewing me. I've been so used to sort of interviewing folks when they come up here, man. I've been grateful to do that every step of the way too. We've had some fun up here.
It's tremendous fun, and all that's out there for anybody that wants to watch it.
Yeah, we've had some fun. We've had some laughs. We of course, the first podcast I never had been fortunate enough to try it out. So we kind of learned along the way. We found our little niche. And we got some content out there, man. It was fun, dude. You could say that we became somewhat local celebrities. Yeah.
Parades,
parades here and there.
Ribbon cuttings.
All that stuff. So we do all that, and we do it with a smile. I mean, national television isn't easy, life, when you're famous and can't go buy your Red Bull without being accosted for your autograph.
Yeah, I mean, you're going through hundreds of 8x10s,
Yeah, man.
It's tough. It's tough out there.
But it's definitely been a wild ride. I was sharing this at the my official last staff meeting here at McShin. We have a staff meeting every Monday at 2. It's just the greatest thing. And then, but I was sharing, like, it became sort of like, this will be my last staff meeting, And
yes.
I was just reminded of walking the hallways and still kind of finding my footing and a new way to live and recovery, and everything was, new. And I haven't really found something to sink my interest in besides just having positive days.
Right.
I was just having one positive day after another, man. That's my story. I was just excited, especially about recovery. Having clear vision and sober eyes, or however you want to put it.
Possibilities that you could actually pursue instead of just dream of.
Yeah, possibilities, man. I'm not trying to use hyperbole here, but the world had a different kind of brightness for me,
Yeah.
The colors were more acute. So I still was kind of I was directionless, but the direction was forward for me, but what I was going to do and how I was going to find my niche and stuff like that. And I walked past this podcast room, and I shared with them, when your parents or people ask you, or your mentors, what do you love to do? And you're trying to think of what you love to do. And I really didn't have an answer for that all my life too. I'm getting into my 40s then and didn't have the answer to it. And I would just dawned on me in epiphany, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I love to talk, man. And I do. I've been accused of that, And then almost the moment I had that thought, I found an empty podcast room. I was like, hey,
yeah,
sometimes the stars align and fate and all that stuff. So it gave my mind something to get excited about. Yeah.
Something to focus on.
Yeah, something to focus on. And it was right when you were kind of like in a hiatus before you started working here. You were like working here and then, or interning or something.
Yeah.
And then there was like a hiatus, and then
Recovery Corps.
Yeah, Recovery Corps. Yeah, hell yeah! Shout out to Recovery Corps.
Yes.
And then then Steve came back, and then but in between there, we were kind of in here fiddling around, and I was like, yeah, man, yeah, this is something. Of course, like I was still kind of sort of fresh in recovery. So the recovery, I was excited about recovery, but to speak like intelligently, I could just speak on my experience so far,
right.
And that was fun.
Yeah.
I have found that like with anything in life, you don't want to jump out there like you're knowledgeable about everything and you don't know anything. So just stay right there in your lane of what you
Be who you are.
Yeah, be who you are, because even like 1, 2, 3, 4 months into this thing, there's valuable information in which you know what it takes to make it 3 months, you know?
Right.
So you just stay right there with that, because there's a lot of information to be pulled and extracted.
Yes.
I've heard people say data mining. Yeah, there's some data to mine there, you know?
Definitely. We got a lot of people's stories out of their
yeah, a lot
out
of
their
great-
subconscious there.
yeah, extracted those right out of there, man. And so I stayed right there with it. And then sort of like if you went back in time and watched, if anybody, you know, has the time to do that, but like if you went back in time, you probably could see like an evolution of my recovery, and, you know, the way people used to give me hard times and really hate on me. And like, you know, I mean, I'm not going to bring no names up, Jesse.
No names.
Yeah, but, you know,
no names.
like just the way they really try to grind me down. But like I have such a resilient spirit, you know. I think most of us in recovery, everybody that's sticking in it in recovery has that spirit of resiliency.
Well, you have to.
Yeah, you have to.
Absolutely have to.
Yeah, that's the key ingredient right there. You're in that resiliency. And this is my opinion, of course, too. It just keeps growing and growing and growing.
Not every day is your birthday. You got to get through those days that aren't.
Yeah,
you know, the 364 that aren't. Yeah,
that's what. You know what? That's good too, though. When you go through stuff, because you can kind of gauge where you're at, you know, physically, spiritually, and mentally.
Right.
I mean, how are you going to grow without challenges anyway?
Exactly.
Yeah, you know, that's been some key indicators in my recovery. When I face the challenges, I could even go back and say, oh, okay, I could recognize growth, you know, where, you know, you don't recognize your own growth in recovery. Normally it's other people pointing it out. Oh, you've changed so much, or you've done this, or you've done that. Well, when you go through something, and it's it could be an extreme challenge or whatever the case may be. It can be little indicators that, oh, you can see the change in yourself. That's very exciting too. You know, you can get through things that you normally wouldn't have. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would. Like you went through this program and then something made you want to work here. What was that?
Yeah, you know, that was a strange occurrence actually, because before I got into recovery, I had a skewed view of people in recovery. You know, like everything just seems so. I don't want to get JD Salinger on you or anything, but like it just seemed. Maybe it's because I was a fake and a phony, so like I just saw everything as whatever. You know, it's fake stuff. And that was just a lack of knowledge. You know,
right.
But when I actually, you know, had, you know, sort of a worldview and perception change on life via I never want to use again, you know, and things like that. And where that sort of ethos was going to stick with me. Did I use the right word there?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
It works.
It works. Look it up, you know, Google it. And that sort of worldview was going to stick. It stuck and stayed. Some people would like kind of put that in the spiritual awakening category or spiritual experience category, wherever you want to put it.
Right.
You know, I saw the world one way, and then I saw the world a different way. You know,
a whole different thing.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing. And then I kind of went through the you know, early recovery things that are required of you. And then sort of felt this community of it all. And then just like I previously stated, you don't know how much information or how you can connect with other people. I'm not trying to point out my own gifts, but it would appear I have a gift to connect with people.
Yeah, that's tell everybody what your job is now, like your official.
Yeah, so
9 to 5.
Yeah, for here.
8:30 to 5.
Yeah, for the McShin Foundation, I'm the intake coordinator here. So I worked my way up from, you know, just not being officially hired to a house leader to working the weekends unofficially, 1099.
Yep.
And then you know, I took I got offered a position on the judicial team. That was my first position I was offered. I worked that, grinded those years out, you know.
Started going in the jails.
Yeah, started going in the jails, man, which I loved. When I used to talk before in front of a crowd, I used to be super amped and super excited. And what if a group was an hour, like I was giving you my best for a good 15 minutes, and that's going long, you know what I mean? 10 minutes I was busting it out, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I
So,
remember.
so going into the jails, you were required to give, up to 2-hour groups and do 2 of those a day. So it could be 4 hours worth of groups a day. So I was really in the lab,
Yeah, exactly.
I was really in the lab, and whatever I was learning about recovery, and then I was, passing it just right along, sometimes in real time, sometimes as I seasoned more, 2 hours, I could, it was a walk in the park for me. Yes, I did that for a long time. I still have a passion for that, man. I love going into the jails, man. I do. Particularly, shout out to the ones we go into, RSW and Piedmont. I love that Piedmont jail. I loved going in there. What an environment.
Yeah, I got the privilege of seeing you in there doing a group once.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Did you
they were
record
listening.
that?
I did, actually.
Yeah, I can control an atmosphere.
That's a compressed atmosphere, too.
And maybe that has a lot to do with it too. Like going back to what we were just talking about, you kind of stay in your lane, maybe I knew 15 minutes worth.
Right.
Then, so, the more knowledge you gain about yourself, the more self-awareness, the more experience you got,
right.
Hence the more things you can pass on to others if they wanted it. Sometimes it only takes like one thing out of a group that sticks in somebody's head that is enough for them to ponder on. So to answer your original question, I was just that made me want to work here too, was just it was actually about a month or 2 into it, just like hanging out with the newcomer, man.
Right.
I was like, dang, man, maybe if I can just and it's not sort of like a savior complex or anything like that, but it was like sometimes if you can just sit with somebody through their first early days, on the days where their mind is telling them to leave more than it is to stay.
Yes.
And then when I seen that, I can contribute in that fashion, I want to help people,
right.
know? So that's what I did. And I followed that pathway on through to where we just were, to the jails, and did that for a long time on the road, and working in here too. When I was in the building, I would work with the former director of admissions, the new CFO, or newer, Joyce Bronson, and I just really worked with her closely. We had a real good working relationship. We kind of vibed off each other and keyed off each other, and we kind of had the same style. And of course, I grew up with Joycey. I love her, and it was a good working relationship, and I learned a lot. And so I was doing sort of working in an intake coordinator capacity, capacity under Joyce for a long time. And then when she came upstairs, I was offered the position, which I gratefully took, because I like because it kind of came full circle in a way, because I was able to still deal with individuals coming in potentially for recovery for their first time.
Yeah.
And all the sort of stressors and feelings that are, going on inside that individual.
All the adjustments that have to take place.
Yeah. Internally and just mentally. And then and dealing with their families too.
I was going to get to that. You've got a good reputation, a really great reputation for being able to connect with the families of people just as much as the participants themselves.
Yeah. And I always take a empathetic position when I'm speaking with families too, because I can relate, and sort of got this understanding of the roller coaster ride they're on, all the emotions they're going through also. I mean, oftentimes in, active addiction, or whatever the term is now for it, I'm just going to say active substance use disorder. When you're active, whenever you're active, when you're actively
in the game,
pursuing, when you're deep in the game, we don't always recognize the emotional and stress roller coaster that we have our families on.
Right.
Yeah. So, and that's what I love about the McShin mission also, is that sort of statement, healing families and saving lives. Yeah. I love that, because when one of my favorite things to tell a family member when somebody's going to, potentially be getting admitted in here, or they get admitted, I'm like, I want to tell you, just don't worry, go home and don't worry.
Right.
They're in good hands, because I can you sort of try to put yourself in that place where you have just worried about a family member for years and years, and sometimes years upon years.
It's become a habit, is to worry about somebody.
Yeah. And how long is it going to take? And I always want to offer family resources too, because, they need them too. I mean, a healing process sometimes they need a community too of like-minded individuals that are going through the same thing. Yeah. And I know McShin offers that family and loved ones group. I've sat in on that a couple times.
Yeah, I've seen you in there.
Yeah, man, it's a really awesome resource to have if anybody's listening, or if you're a family member and you come across this, if you need a resource, go on the McShin website,
right?
And you can find the link to the family and loved ones on Wednesday, man. I've seen people find that very helpful.
So you've also done a lot of intakes from mothers with children for our Destiny House.
Oh, yeah.
How does that feel?
Yeah. Oh, man. You know what? More than, one feeling I have is I wish we had like 100 of those houses, because what a need.
Right.
What a need. I just seen a resource downstairs that there's another organization with one of those houses now too, because I was thinking, because you want to, help everybody in that situation. It's been great though, the ones we've been able to service that get into the women Destiny House, Women with Children's House, and the transformation and the sort of leg up in life that's afforded them through that program is just like words can't even describe. We recently, if y'all been watching and you did that short or that kind of set a participant check-in for our latest graduate,
Angela.
Angela, man, what an awesome. I did her intake, and just watched from judicially involved to where she went. I could hardly look at her without tearing up. It was like an emotional thing. You see like someone come in under, all the stresses that we're talking about already. And then, like basically the clothes on their back and, however that's going to, transpire to into a recovery sort of story and situation. But when you see it work to the desired effect, like the way it did in certain cases, and we could go on and on and on, Haley, and so on and so forth. And
you're healing a family that's barely started.
Yeah.
Before it goes through all that stuff that it doesn't have.
Yeah, that child never has to know the backstory. They can go from right here to on and never have to go on the roller coaster ride that their family members may have gone on, man. Oh man, it's inspiring. You see that stuff, day-to-day grind of a job in recovery. It's those little flashes of light right there that oh man, this is a worthwhile endeavor to work in this field. You
ever run into people out in the world there that you've done an intake for and they're doing good and you haven't seen them for a while?
Oh, man. Yeah. And they're in their jobs and they're got their money saved up and they're going on to get married and they're making families themselves and
a house and a car.
And they're actually living life, man. Dude, it goes on and on. The wins outweigh, and you know what, even when it's, because I always think about it like this too, you see them, because I've seen it go the other way too, we certainly have, we've seen it go both ways. But I love that when individuals come back, if the first time didn't stick to, I love that.
That's the best.
First of all, that an individual makes it out, with their life and they some grace has been afforded to them and they had enough pull to come back in, and I've seen those individuals go on to be the individuals we're talking about, totally successful,
Yes, many times.
Yeah, totally. I did. It's well known now. Like this is a saying. Relapse is a part of recovery, or a reoccurrence is a part of recovery. Whatever the words are for the day. But it doesn't have to be. But if it is, I've found that if you've gained some valuable information out of it, and even if you had just like enough recovery to be like, oh no, so it's harm reduction in a way when they've had just that kind of taste of recovery, because where reoccurrence of use could have lasted maybe a year,
or two or three.
How does time slip away from you?
It does, yes.
During a reoccurrence, it doesn't exist,
It doesn't. No.
Yeah. They've had enough to come back, and not stay out as long. Like, so the times might decrease more and more, particularly. And now I'm just saying this because a positive can be made out of anything, and if you learn that information, like I said, there's always some piece of valuable information to be gained out of everything. And if you did, have a reoccurrence and you caught yourself quick, then you can kind of backtrack, like what led you up to that, like what was your frame of mind,
Right.
and you don't have to fall for that kind of trick of your mind or of this disorder anymore, disorder of the mind.
Yes.
You can at least put a roadblock up for that and do and target some work right there, so it doesn't have to be part of your story. And since we're going down kind of this rabbit hole anyway, just I always like to really state this, and substances, and they've always been just evil, bad, all the adjectives you can use to describe it, but man, the ones out there today,
they're worse than ever.
Yeah,
worse than ever.
Yeah, I have a saying, like it's not the drugs of our forefathers out there.
No, it's not. It's not chewing on some berries and feeling weird. It's like
yeah, dude.
A tiny a micron of something and you're done. That's it.
Yeah. Like a laugh and a munchie, and then go back to no, it's not that anymore. And I can't even really think of a category that I would be like falls under. God, no, man, that makes me think of just other things that I'm grateful for, even if I'm finding, and man, it is something. I seen something like I'm exactly where I wanted to be 3 years ago,
Yeah.
So like if I get into this sort of mindset that, I don't have this, or I need this, or I want to accomplish this, so on and so forth, just the daily regular thoughts of growth or whatever, I can always go back to like, I'm right where I wanted to be. I can lean on that for gratefulness 100%. I can lean on, and just talking about what we were talking about just now too, that man, just so thankful that I made it out with some semblance of health. I'm healthy I'm about to turn the big 5.
We can still speak.
Yeah, we can still speak
in a way that most people understand.
Yeah, thank you for letting me keep my faculties in my mind,
because that's not
guaranteed.
It's not guaranteed at all.
No doubt about it. I mean, like we just said, these are not the substances of our forefathers out there, man. Not that they were ever not evil, but man, it's a particular just supercharged type thing. Yeah.
It's become more of a product.
Yeah. Dude. Like, and it's
cheaper
everywhere.
and cheaper and cheaper
and cheaper and cheaper and just everywhere, man.
Yes.
I'm talking about on tap. There's efforts against it. You got, that's what I like about also working in this field, just, and anybody that's aspiring to, because it's needed. There's a need,
So tell us again what the progression was for you. Like if somebody's out there thinking, well, maybe that is for me.
Well,
like you were a house leader.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely.
Then you were the intensive house leader. That's different.
Yeah. And it happened pretty quickly for me. I had the desire. I don't want to say it like it just dawned on me one day, but I was really enjoying being part of this community. I was really enjoying it. So enjoying that also made me sort of like, before I kind of could verbalize it or rationalize it, like it was like, oh, I want to give back in some way, right? And anyway, I know how. I don't think I had it kind of like slated in my mind like that. It just seemed like the thing to do. Like you're each one teach one.
Yeah.
Grateful that somebody helped me out, and it was still being part. If you're going to be connected to something, and the idea behind it is to we're one addict helping another, so to speak, or however you want to put it. It was like kind of fell into that kind of naturally,
Right.
I didn't know how to do it anymore as to being a listening ear to somebody, or being a good hangout,
right.
or just like sitting with somebody through a freak out, whatever the case may be, So I became a house leader at a sober living, and I was enjoying that. But very quickly I was asked to be a house leader of the men's intensive house.
See, I saw that happen. I think that's when, from my point of view, that's when a change occurred.
Yeah. That was the biggest learning experience of my life, dude. Straight up. I'm talking about, I probably got more out of that than anybody that came through the 45, particularly in the realms of patience and structure and being part of a team. I definitely learned about that. I can remember when I was asked to do that too. And don't let me put myself out there like I was some a view of what should happen in recovery because they asked me to do that. And then I told them, yeah, with a capital F, no, you know,
Absolutely not.
no,
Under no circumstances.
no, hell to the no, no,
It's not going to happen.
No, it's not happening.
And there you were.
Yeah. And, you know, just like I said, like, I don't know if this was a piece of game that our, you know, supervisor, what's Cricket's official title? Director of Judicial Services.
You got it. You got it.
He's been kind of a voice of clarity through my little, you know, growing spurts, you know, since I was a wee boy. But
a wee lad.
Wee lad, yeah. Yeah. But I did say no. Jesse asked me, and I did say no. And but kind of like a tentative no, you know, whatever.
Right,
just like well, I said it exactly how I said it, you know.
Exactly.
And Cricket said, you know, he said this to me, and it really stuck with me. He was like, "Man, be careful what you say no to in recovery, because recovery said yes to you for a lot." You know, you kind of put it like that.
That's a good one.
You know, be careful what you say no to in recovery. And I was thinking I had got a lot of yeses, you know, and I knew what that job entailed. It's a difficult job for anybody that does it, particularly like if you've never done it before and it's going to be your first time,
right?
You know, your hopes is that, and McShin is really good about this now, you know, and they have been forever. They kind of circle the wagons around whoever's got that position. Yeah. You know, that's the hope. Cause
there's some support there.
Yeah. Cause you're going to need some support. I'm such a rebel though. I didn't want support. You know what I mean?
I can do this.
Even though I was so egotistical, you know what I mean? You know, I think like there was one time over there at that house too, that there was me, Travis, and there was like 5 other Travises in the house.
Oh, yes.
You know, or an intensive.
The storm of Travis.
Yeah. So I just named it Travis's house, you know. Even Clark House anymore.
Right.
It's like this is Trav's house now. But yeah, dude, I marinated on that for a minute, and you know, recovery had said yes to me a lot, even as to just coming into this program, period, and just the kind of grace that was afforded to me, and the quickness of when I called, and how Jesse came and picked me up, you know, and I didn't really understand then yet, because I don't want to make myself a hero in my own story, but like the kind of the philosophy of a gratitude debt. But something kind of hit me like that, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, let me try it. And dude, it was nothing but helpful to me. While I was doing that, working that, you know, the opportunity for the PRS training came up.
That's what I was about to get to.
Yeah.
When did you decide to do that?
Yeah. It was pretty much in alignment with when I took over the house leader duties of Clark House, right? Because you know, you don't know what you don't know. So I remember when I asked to be in that class, Jesse was like, "You want to be in that?" I never thought you wanted to like do anything that was kind of recovery related, or like, you know, because I was like a real big on just like knocking everything. You know, I was.
Well, that was our generation.
Yeah.
So I hate to say that, people. I hate to bring up the past like that.
Yeah.
We were like the slacker.
Yeah, we're Gen Xers. You know,
whatever. We're not part of that.
Yeah. Like that's not. Whatever, like you very individualized, you know.
Like you don't want to be one of those.
Yeah,
people.
one of those guys. You
don't
know,
want to be like that.
Yeah. So it was really, and I stood on that like firm, you know. And but it you know, in honesty, it was nice to be a part of something, you know. Mm-hmm. So I said, well, let me check it out. So I took that, you know, Jesse, let me go ahead and take the class, the training while I was doing that. And so, you know, I quickly started interning right after that, you know, and my internship would, you know, be the basic internship stuff, you know, learning how to, you know, do everything. Yeah, I could connect with the newcomer, man. It's because I knew I was new. I still connect with the newcomer, man. Mm-hmm. I think it's a key ingredient to this. I mean, of course, there's all kinds of forms of working in this field, right?
Yeah, there's all kinds of things going on,
but there is something special when you can talk to somebody, you know, and get them to hold on for one more day.
Just stay a little longer.
Yeah, man. So in the processes of learning, you know, how to, you know, kind of be a house leader of an intensive, and you are, man, that's a 24/7 job, man. I can remember it was some unruly crews I had come through there. You know?
Those were different times.
Yeah. You know what you had to do? You had to really learn how to relate with a wide array of personalities and all kinds of different feelings and emotions, and guys coming from here and guys coming from here and guys just coming home,
Right.
and guys coming off of everything you can think of.
Yep.
I'm not gonna tell those stories,
But yes,
there's some cool stuff going on, man. Yeah, it just got me interested, man. I took that PRS training and I never looked back. And I found a great home here to really water the seeds of a recovery lifestyle and career
right.
here, man. What an awesome place to foster that kind of environment.
It's incredible, really.
Yeah. And so many people here, and some people here with like years and years, you think about like Cricket and Jesse and Honesty. And I think about like all the things I learned, like even from, I'm not some freaking Coley. Yeah. Which ended up to be like one of my main dudes.
Yeah. He's
here.
one of the best people we
and I've learned a lot from everybody that's been here, man. Everybody that works here has really been a piece of the armor,
right?
That is Trav's new life, man. A learning process that has been really fun to go through. To tell you the truth, fun for me,
Yeah.
Every day has had its ups and downs, but such is life, growing pains.
Yeah.
Had a lot of growing pains.
A lot of few here.
A lot of growing pains, man. People that I can truly call brothers and sisters, friends, man, work colleagues. They run the whole gambit, man.
Right.
It's been a joy, man. Working up here with you, Steve, has been awesome, dude.
We've had so much fun,
dude. Have we, man?
3 years of this.
3 years,
of
like
this madness.
Yeah, 3 years. And me and Steve were talking about this beforehand, and we talked about it a little bit just now too, like how, like 45 days can seem like an eternity to like somebody coming in to recovery for the first time, or whatever the days may be. One day can seem like an eternity.
Yes, it can.
1 minute. Time is all relative. Einstein was really onto something with that. Smart guy. And then, 3 years, in the grand scheme of things, is a blip on the radar, of course. But it seems like a lot has happened in the 3 years, man. And when you're goal setting and accomplishing goals, or even like sometimes, the cool thing about recovery, sometimes you accomplish goals you didn't even set.
Exactly.
Like, oh, you got all these like markers of accomplishment, and you look back and I'm going to tell you, you can accomplish a lot in the 3 years.
Especially when you realize that, you can get a lot more done when you don't sleep 20 hours a day.
Yeah.
Like, wow. It's like a whole new world.
Yeah. You're not sitting in a parking lot waiting for somebody to show up, or
there.
Trying to figure out where to get. And it just comes. It actually attracts to you, and all you got to do is show up day after day. Just show up. No matter how you're feeling or what your mind tells you, just show up. You never know what a day is going to bring positively to affect your life by just showing up. Yeah, man, it's been awesome, dude. But that 3 years, there's a lot crammed in there.
There is.
I was thinking about that. I love that saying, and this is another like recovery platitude or saying that gets benign, but give yourself a year. Give yourself a year, man. It seems like a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, how many years did you just give away? You just threw them away. You just threw them away to really invest a year into your life. I just am speaking from experience here, and there's no reason for me to, kind of blow the smoke machine at you, man. Like the payoff is amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing. And like I said, everybody's recovery journey is going to be different. It's going to flow and ebb and blossom here and blossom there. It's very exciting. But a year invested in yourself seems like a small price to pay for.
It really is.
For what the benefits could be, the benefits, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, anything that ends in a Lee,
Yeah.
The payoffs are great. And that's not saying, it's all rainbows and MySpace.com and ponies and all that stuff.
Good old MySpace.
Yeah, because they are tough. But to go back to that recovery platitude, I mean, it's better than the best day, the worst day, the saying, man.
It really is.
Yeah, it really is, man. Grateful to all that. Any more questions for your boy?
I think we're good for now. You know,
We chunked a lot in there, dude.
we're gonna run out of internet.
Yeah, dude. We've been up here for this is probably a world record. And when I'm sort of in this environment with the people that I'm in it with, like I can just flow forever.
Well, we could go 2 more hours.
And,
easily.
yeah, and like we said, like there's been just multiple podcasts about positivity and recovery that have been laid down in this. Steve called it the boxcar. I like to think of us as the punk rock of recovery, the
Right.
Wayne's World. Of
Yeah,
recovery.
yeah.
The Wayne's, but the subject is inexhaustible because because it's a growth thing, you know. And you never stop growing.
Right.
You never stop learning. Every day I get excited to learn like new stuff every day. You know, to add it to my repertoire.
Right.
Yeah, and then it just makes me that much more aware, of the world and myself. And it's really a fun journey, man. If you're thinking about taking the steps into recovery, I got to tell you got nothing to lose.
Right.
You got nothing to lose by choose in recovery.
But we'll certainly have you back on.
Oh man, I thank you for that, man.
And all fan mail can still be sent here.
Yeah,
So,
send it on. I'm moving on to my next endeavor. It's still in recovery though. More will be revealed, and I'll come and share all about those experiences and how I made it through my first week without getting fired.
It's all going to come.
That was a prophecy. I'm going to make it through our first week.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Of course you are.
Yeah, I'll make it, man. I'll learn and I'll grow and I'll have all the ups and downs of it. And but I'll make it through, man. That's just something I carry with me now. It's a little like hope I carry right there, and just I'm going to continue on with gratitude. And I thank y'all, man. Thank you.
Well, we have the utmost hope and confidence in that too. So
Yeah, I really like that. Emails are going off every 2 minutes.
I should have been reading them on screen, but then it would turn into something else.
Yeah, just really boost my ego up before I walk out the door. Yeah, but you were talking about volunteering. Hopefully, once I get situated and adjusted, I will have, time to. I know I'll come back.
I know you'll roll in for a community meeting and blast off. And
yeah, dude, I can't. I can't. I've been like a piece of furniture around here. It's like saying goodbye to to your home. So McShin will always be a home to me. I'm very grateful for McShin, and I'm gonna sign off with that. Thank y'all.
Thank you.